Our story travels across the Atlantic to the Puritan settlement of Salem Village, Massachusetts, in the cold, tense winter of 1692. Here, the terrible wave of American witch hunting began, triggered by one marginalized figure, Tituba. Tituba was a woman of likely Caribbean or possibly South American origin, owned as a slave by the village minister, Reverend Samuel Parris. Her exact background is debated, but she was a person of color and an outsider in the strictly religious Puritan community. Her life centered on the Parris household, where she was tasked with various domestic duties. In the long, severe winters, Tituba entertained the minister's daughter, 9-year-old Betty Parris, and her cousin Abigail Williams, with stories and folk magic rituals. The crisis began when the girls started exhibiting strange, violent fits, contortions, and screaming episodes. The local doctor could find no physical ailment, and the Puritan community quickly offered the only explanation they knew. The girls were tormented by witchcraft. The community pointed their fingers at the easiest targets: the poor, the isolated, and the outsiders. Tituba, along with 2 elderly, impoverished white women, was the first to be accused. But unlike the other accused women who maintained their innocence, Tituba, likely realizing the immense danger she was in as a slave, chose a different path. Under brutal interrogation by the magistrates, Tituba began to weave a dramatic, fantastic story. She confessed to meeting a tall man in black, the devil, who demanded she sign his book. She claimed she had seen a coven of witches flying through the sky on broomsticks, and that the devil offered her a red rat, a black dog, and a cat as familiars. Tituba's detailed theatrical testimony was a catalyst. It transformed a small case of local illness into a massive panic. Her tales of midnight sabbats, flying women, and the Devil's Book provided the Puritans with the shocking, vivid proof they needed to believe the devil had infiltrated Salem. While her confession bought her time in jail, it did not grant her freedom. Tituba remained imprisoned for over a year, only to be sold to a new owner to pay her jail fees once the hysteria died down. The fate of Tituba's accusers, the Parris girls, was attention and eventual healing. The fate of many others, inspired by her confession, was the gallows. But the fate of Tituba herself was to vanish from the historical record after her release, leaving behind her indelible legacy as the slave whose terrifying confession ignited the infamous Salem witch trials.